Oh, it's awesome.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Heath, Haskins, CodePrime8, and welcome to a very special stream. Give me 1 second. I've got to hop back in here and do a rejoin. Hello. Uh-oh. Ready to join the meeting? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm joining. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
There you are. Can you hear me? Can you?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep.
So, I have got Luis and Dimitri from Koji. Luis is developer, and Dimitri is the CEO. You're like the head honcho, right?
That's how I prefer to be called. Yes, referred to.
Head honcho. So, I've got Koji up here on the screen and everything. What are we going to be doing tonight?
Luis, you want to take us off? What are we going to be doing tonight?
Yeah, sure. So I figure this could be a good opportunity for a Q&A session here with Dimitri. We can explore some of the games on the platform. We've got some improvements on games, and you can comment on them and ask Dimitri any question you want.
It's true. I'll answer anything.
And can you guys see the YouTube chats and the Twitter chats and all that?
Yep. See the YouTube chat.
So if you have a question for Dimitri or myself or Luis, just put it into the chat and do like a hashtag QA in front of it or something like that. And then we can, everybody's going to be like, where's Lumber Tycoon 2? Why are we not playing Lumber? Unless, Dimitri, do you play Roblox at all?
I do not, but I like to watch others play.
Gotcha. So.
I have 3 young kids. I've got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old, and so I'm mostly running around behind them trying to make sure they don't poop on the floor and
yes,
make other types of messes.
The good old days of diapers and explosions out of the back. By the way, for everybody that's a kid inside the chat, just so you know, you need to go thank your parents for cleaning up your poop, okay? Because that is a rough job. Dylan is asking why not Lumber? Because we have the CEO of Koji here. That's why we're doing this. It's live stream. It's supposed to be in Q&A. Who did you guys have last week? You had Creekcraft, and he had a game on here, didn't he?
Creek had a game, and then our biggest game so far has been that one you see at the top left there, Games We Love, which was Beast Boy Shove. And that game's got over 400,000 views. It's pretty awesome. You just go to home, and
I got it here. There might be a little bit of a delay inside the
yeah, sure.
The thing,
yeah, that one.
Yeah, the zombie shooter.
Is it PG, or is it like, is there a bunch of blood? Who cares?
There's some particle effects.
There's a little blood. There's not that much blood. There are a lot of zombies. They're dead anyway, so it's not like real blood.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh!
Oh, you want to get the stick? Get the stick.
The stick. Where's?
It's called in Hindi. It's called the danda.
Oh wow! No! Okay. Chat, is that too loud, guys?
No.
Oh, there it is. Wait. Okay, hold on. Let me get back this way. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hit the stick.
I'm trying to go back for it. Do they disappear after so long?
No, they multiply.
Yeah, you gotta keep shooting.
Oh, maybe the weapon do disappear.
Gotta go get it.
So
You got it.
the blues are the fastest one. Oh gosh. The blues are the fastest one. The red are the slowest one. And skills.
Yeah, I think the key is you gotta run into it. You gotta fire, run into it.
Yeah.
Hope you get the stick.
Be bold.
Maybe you can figure.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
And if you get the machine gun, that's also really cool. You got the shotgun right now.
इसकी भैंस की टैट बीस्ट बॉय शुभ हार मानने वालों में से नहीं है.
Let's see, CodePrime8 and Nanya at business.com. Submit. Okay.
So that's been our biggest hit. Dimitri, we've got a couple of people in the YouTube chat asking why you started Koji.
For me, it's always been I like have an idea, and then I can't sort of end up sleeping until I find some way to get it done, and that's how Koji is another one of those ideas. By the way, before this, I've been an entrepreneur for a while. Right before this, I worked at Google for 4 years. Before that, I was the chief technology officer of MySpace. For any of you that are old enough to know MySpace. And before that, I built 2 other venture capital backed companies. One was a competitor to YouTube in the early days called VEO Networks, VEOH, and a perimeter security company before then. But for me, it's always like when you have this idea and you just kind of can't live without sort of building it. That's the thing that always tends to drive me. But like I've always wanted to. I started programming in 1984 when I was 14 years old, right, in BASIC. And I've always sort of found myself going up and down in my capabilities of being able to make something. And I always wanted to make games, but I always felt like I wasn't a good enough programmer to be able to make games. And so I think probably since 1984, I've like had this desire to somehow make it possible for me to make games. And Koji is sort of that. And it's really exciting to just like watch. If you go to New, you'll just see like, every hour there's like multiple games that are being created by people, which is crazy. Because these are, a lot of these people don't write a single line of code to create these games. And yet they're just remixing it. And so if any of you, like, for example, play around with like TikTok, this sort of feels like TikTok, but for games, right? Like this remix culture where you can find something and you're like, oh, I've got a totally different idea for this thing, right? It's not supposed to be zombies. It's supposed to be a bunch of like Barbie dolls, right? And it's not like these guns and sticks. It's going to be hearts that I'm going to like throw at them. And like I've always loved this idea of being able to just like take something and just completely change it around to be something it was never supposed to be. And by the way, this is a bit sort of history thing, but like when I first went out pitching investors to invest in that company that I built, which was a competitor to YouTube, this was in the early days. This is even before YouTube existed. It was about 4 months before YouTube launched. And I tried to convince all these venture capitalists that I was going to build this platform that would let anybody broadcast video. And they just kind of looked at me and they said, but like, who wants to broadcast video? And like, do you know anybody? And I'm like, well, I know some video bloggers. And they're like, yeah, but like, that's not a business. And I'm like, but I think if you like make it easy, a bunch of people will broadcast. And they're like, well, like, what would they broadcast? And I'd be like, well, I like to play guitar. So maybe there'd be people teaching people to play guitar. And they'd be like, meh, not sort of interested in that. By the way, if you would have told me that like Twitch was going to be a thing, or this thing we're doing here, this like live gaming broadcasting thing was going to be a thing, I probably would have said that doesn't make sense to me, or like unboxing videos or things like that. And so it's always exciting when you create these kinds of platforms to just see, the crazy stuff that sort of shows up. My kids love watching these surprise egg videos. I don't know if any of you guys have seen these. These are like awesome.
The little
where
things
it's just like
them open.
Yeah, you just like these little plastic things, you pop them open, and like those things have close to 1 billion views. It's like, it's crazy. And so if you would have told me that was going to be a thing, again, I would have said, I don't get it. But now it's amazing. And so anyway, we hope Koji does the same thing. Like we're already seeing like completely odd games just showing up, and you're like, yes, this was a basketball game template, but like, this is kind of crazy. I don't know what this thing is. And by the way, this is the first place where we can announce it. We now have multiplayer games.
What?
Oh,
True.
yeah.
You want to play a multiplayer game?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let me find one here, and then I guess Luis, you probably better send it because
Yeah.
let's play. See what we can do with this. These are still kind of in beta, but we can play around with it. Let's see if we can play my one.
See if I can find it here.
Multiplayer.
Can you send it
Koji,
through the
Koji Arena multiplayer?
send it through the chat, or not? No, sorry. Send it through the Google chat, not through the chat. Otherwise, we're gonna have a whole bunch of trolls on us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Here we go. I'm gonna send it to you right here. There it is. And I'm gonna get in here. Make sure you change your name from player, and just join Koji.
There we go. Code Prime 8. And game room name? Do you want to keep the same?
Yeah, keep it Koji.
Okay. It's 3D. Oh, is the
You gotta use arrows.
Yeah, you got to use arrows, and so the key here is to like jump on top of one another, and get these like little pumpkins pop out. But the cool thing with all of this is like you can remix this game, right? And you can completely change the whole environment without writing a line of code. And so these don't have to be pigs, and that doesn't have to be Koji Arena, and you can change the sound in it, and you can do all of that with in a couple of minutes without writing any code.
Now, I am getting a huge delay. It might be because I am streaming and chatting and Discord all at the same time.
I think so. Yeah, mine's working pretty well, actually. This is the most we've had of players in here.
Yeah, we just posted it into the Discord, so we may have some folks joining us from Discord, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, there are a bunch in here. And
there's no chat in this game or anything. You kind of just jump around and jump on people.
And you got to collect the pumpkins. And again, soon you will actually be able to like shoot stuff. And by the way, all of this stuff is going to be optimized. This hasn't even been optimized yet, but wow, I'm actually quite impressed. Thanks for helping us like beta test this thing, because we've never had this many people in here. It's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Hold on. Let's do this just for fun. I want to see if this will actually handle it.
Do it. Let's do it.
Luis, be prepared for your servers to go down, okay?
Super cool.
I'm ready. We're ready.
There you go. 84 people have now seen the link. If you want,
cool.
Go ahead and jump in here with us and throw your names in there. I don't know how many people. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, let's see if this works.
Join
the piggy party.
Whoa.
Oh, I am slowing down. Uh-oh, I have infinity jump. Hold on. I'm like flying in the air now.
I see some people are like stuck in the air.
This is cool. Yeah, this is like I said, this hasn't been optimized, but it's cool. Like, and the cool thing about it is that you can just remix this thing, so you can make it anything you want. Like, this is one I made. This isn't even the original template.
So,
the original template was this like weird Halloween thing.
Oh gosh, what happened? Did we die? I think it crashed.
Yep. Mine's still going.
Yeah, mine's still working.
Mine went completely gray. I'm out. Oh, there we go. I'm back. Oh no. So
this is like the. Oh, go ahead.
You said back in 1984, your first programming language. No, 1980. Yeah, 1984. Your first programming language was BASIC. A lot of people don't know what BASIC actually is, especially my younger audience, Robloxers. So BASIC is Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instructional Code, and it is one of the first string languages that was above C and assembly. So it's a very rudimentary, original. Like, I started on QBasic, so this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm just saying.
You mean this guy's old? Yeah.
No. We are not old by any means ever. No.
No. I wear that as a badge of honor.
I feel like we created the path for all of the people who are now using Twitter and Twitch and the social medias of today. I feel like I had a part of that, just growing up. I might not have been part of something big, but being the one that was on the 14.4 dial-up modem, the 28.8, the 56K, my first 56K, I was the coolest kid on the block, and just helping test out all of those. And when it came to programming, I found this language. I found my world. The computer, it didn't care that I was a nerd. It didn't care that I might not be the fastest runner. It didn't care. It wasn't because it didn't like me. It was because I had messed up something. It didn't work because I had done something, and it was my job to go and fix that. And I loved it. Programming in Visual Basic was my first language, Visual Basic 3.0. So, back on AOL.
I felt the same way. And actually, this is again the thing that like really excites me about Koji, is that like, look, a lot of people are like really good in front of a camera, and so mediums like TikTok or YouTube are great mediums for them. I always feel like I'm kind of awkward in front of a camera. But I'm pretty good behind a computer, and so I can be pretty witty and creative and all of that. And so it feels like this new medium of remixing code, of being able to create these like interactive experiences, memes, games, humor, whatever, and doing it where the camera is not the medium, but like your intelligence and your creativity and your wit is that. It feels like it makes things much more accessible for, certainly many other types of people, not necessarily many more people, but a whole slew of new people that sort of never had a really good social medium to be able to do something with.
MySpace, I think, was actually my first social media. Oh, no, I guess it would have been AOL. And the fact that you can come in here and it's not just, okay, here. I'll show this to the audience because I'm not sure that they know the extent of what Koji can do. So I'm just going to go back to the main page. I'm going to click on home, and we're just going to, let's do a new, nope, it's a new, my projects, here, create an app. Okay, so the first thing that you get to do is you come in and you select something that you'd like to remix. So you can take a look at all the different games that they've got, select one, and then start to make it your own. Now, it can be from the most basic, like you didn't do anything, to you wrote the entire thing again from scratch. And I'll show you this little remix button down here at the bottom. A lot of you guys aren't going to understand so much as to what it's doing, but basically this thing is unwrapping into a dev environment. It's its own SDK. I'm not sure what language this actually is. Is it C#?
No, it's all JavaScript. This is full stack JavaScript. So on the front end, you've got either raw JavaScript or any sort of JavaScript frameworks like React or Angular or Vue, Polymer, whatever. And then on the back end, it's basically Node.js and various things. And so most of these apps have a leaderboard, and so they've got a back end. And then, of course, they've got a front end that's got all the code. And if you want to edit it, you have access to it. And so you can go and just edit it directly in the browser there. But you don't have to edit it, right? Because it's got those, we call them visual customization controls, VCCs, on the top left there under customization, where you can just like click on them and choose different colors and game settings and images and sounds and all those other things.
Hold on. The sounds themselves, as far as like I'm a YouTuber, and I always get concerned whenever I hear more than 6 seconds of some song that I don't recognize because of copyrights and the strikes and everything else. That was like one of my concerns about the sounds. Do you guys have any kind of filtrations in place to stop copywritten sounds from being transferred across media?
We don't have filtrations, but we have a DMCA policy, right? Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And so if anybody contacts us and says that there's something inappropriate, then we've got a process for taking that down. Very much like other services do. This is sort of standard in the internet.
There's also a thing that like Roblox has. Roblox went to it's not AMP, it's APM Music. And they actually got a contract through APM Music to take all of their songs and use them inside their games. And it's like this really smart but complex way of doing it. So whenever somebody inside Roblox uses a song that is copywritten by APM Music, I get a copyright strike on my channel. But then I write in, hey, this is a Roblox video. This is the original soundtrack. And I show where it came from. And then they go and remove the strike, or they remove the claim.
I see. That's interesting.
Do you guys have anything set up like that where you would be able to provide music or something to developers and to creators of Koji games?
Yeah, not yet. I mean, this thing is just now kind of exiting beta slowly. We put it into beta at the end of April, and so you're catching us super early on in our existence.
I like being a trendsetter.
Yeah, of course, what a lot of people are doing, mostly they're using like little, effect sounds. It's much less about music because this really isn't the music platform, right? This is about making fart sounds and gun sounds and whatever else sort of people like to put in there. There's a lot of sort of fair use stuff in here.
Absolutely. Do you have a sound generator where you would be able to? And these are just ideas, by the way. So, Luis,
I love them. Yeah,
keep
keep
paper.
going. Yeah.
Pen and paper.
I got it right here. I'm actually using pen and paper. So right now, what you can do is you can upload a sound. You can paste the YouTube URL and then be able to pull some sound out of the YouTube URL. Soon we will allow you to record in the browser, and so you'll have a little record button, and you'll be able to record your voice or any sound effect you could do. Do Foley. Yeah, that's kind of the next thing that's going to happen to sound.
Real quick, I want to address the chat. You guys, there's a couple of you leaving out, and it started at 89 viewers across 3 different platforms. It's now down to 67, and you're all leaving because I'm not playing Lumber. Is that right? Is that way? I can pull up a little Lumber screen down at the bottom left-hand side, but I'm not going to stop talking to Dimitri. Don't be rude.
Yeah, I think you should play some Lumber and talk to us. Yeah, Lumber sounds like it's exciting.
Oh yes, yes. This is my jam.
I'd love to see you play Lumber.
Let's see.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
You've never seen Lumber Tycoon 2?
I don't think so.
You are going to be in for a treat, sir. I promise.
Well, I'm super excited about it.
Okay, so welcome to the world of Roblox. Basically, this is created by a gentleman named Defaultio. His name's Josh Sheldon. The man is a genius. And I don't mean oh yeah, he's really smart. No, he is another level of smarts. He is a graduate for College of Maryland as a engineer. The man created a entire stop motion 3D light show. I don't know how to describe it, but he ended up manufacturing all the parts for it. He ended up programming most of the Dragoon in the background, did all the photography, and just makes amazing stuff. He also made this Arduino kickflip ollie measuring, and it would measure how high you did a kickflip on a skateboard, and it was called the Sick Ollie Measuring Machine.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was still showing the browser. Okay, so welcome to the world of Lumber Tycoon 2. Let me load in something amazing here. Now, what I like to do is I come in here and I do little tutorials and how-tos. Hi, buddy. Got somebody that's got my shirt. You stole my shirt. Hey, I love the videos. Thanks, freak. Appreciate it. My base is going to take a second to load because I've been doing this for 4 years, and there's little areas that you're not supposed to be able to get to, but we found out that if you take one of the doors and attach it to another door in a specific way, it'll allow you to lock them together and create bridges to places that you're not supposed to be. Oh, this is embarrassing. It's taking forever to load. Is this what you guys wanted? Is that better?
I feel like Koji's going to start looking like this pretty soon. Like on some of these multiplayer games.
Totally.
Yes. And I saw the Google, there was Google models. I was playing with one of the Penguin games last night, doing a remix, just playing around with it. And there was a Penguin model that came from Google models, and I thought, wait, that's just an OBJ object. Is this an object? I could create one in Blender, export it, as long as it's under a certain amount of vectors. I could upload my own Blender models into Koji.
There you go.
So
yeah, that's exactly right.
So if you guys have ideas, because I know I've done Blender tutorials before, create models for us to use inside Koji as well.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, it's all just OBJs. So if you have an OBJ and some texture, you're golden.
Can you sign my base? Dude, I'm live ATM. Are you watching the stream? I don't even know if he's actually watching or not. He is watching. Dude, how rude is it to ask me to leave the CEO of Koji to come sign your base? We'll do it some other time, I promise.
No, listen, I'm actually loving just watching you do your thing. So you keep doing it. I'm going to hang out here. This is perfect. By the way, there's like still people playing in that arena thing we were just playing.
I know, and there was actually 5 or 6 names that said DDDoS, so it's distributed denial of service. I thought, you can't really DDoS something whenever it started lagging as bad as it did on my screen. Because, I mean, I'm already disabled a little bit, so... Actually, I think I still have it up down here. Oh yeah, I still got it going. Hold on, let's see if I can still play. Just real quick, Luis, is that you typing so much?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll mute myself.
No, you're fine. It's just, it kind of reminded me of Alvin blocks.
Yeah, I've got one of these keyboards with the mechanical keys. So I forget how loud it is. I'm just like used to how it sounds.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Have you ever? You guys don't know who Alvin Blocks is? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me go find Alvin real quick. Alvin Blocks. By the way, me and him were racing to 100,000, and technically he beat me.
What was the technicality?
In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to...
Okay, hold on. It wasn't a technicality. He actually boosted right in the last like 2-3 weeks and made it. And I was like, oh, dude, congratulations. Because, I mean, he's been working at it for a long time as well. And getting that 100,000, that's a huge mark, you know? Anyhow, here is
make a Roblox game fast. We're going to be creating an obstacle style
Sorry,
game,
Alan.
which you can create
Totally
with Roblox
stealing your
Studio,
video.
publish for free, and play with your friends. Let's get started. Welcome to my channel. My name's Alvin Blocks, and I'm all about helping you learn to make awesome games and earn Robux on Roblox.
Yes.
So make sure to subscribe if you're interested, as I have lots more.
Speaking of which, Paulina, if she's watching, I will get you hooked up with Alvin Blocks as well in a DM, so you can talk to him about Koji.
These panels,
Cool.
you tab,
Nice.
and then click different mod.
Come on.
Here we go. We've just
Okay.
here, so that it's touching
Where's
the
the
checkpoint.
script?
Now, because
Here it is.
and then we say function doesn't start moving around if someone. That's the name of the event, which we're waiting to see if something touches it. Colon
Wait, is that
connect,
you typing?
and then we say
Yeah,
function,
sorry.
and then
Let
we
me-
do a pair of parentheses.
I'm muting myself.
and
Let me know if
top
you
it
need.
like this.
No,
And
listen
Roblox
to Alvin
should
Blocks.
add
Listen.
this end with a closing bracket.
You can
on
hear
it.
his keyboard in the
Now, inside of
background.
this
That's why I always
bracket,
refer to
we're
somebody
gonna
that you can
add
hear
a
the keyboard.
parameter.
I'm like, hey, Alvin.
Now, a
can you,
parameter
hit the
is
mute
some
button?
data that gets passed.
Anyhow, Alvin Blocks.
Oh,
amazing, amazing YouTuber. And then let's turn this off real quick. Blink. I'll go back in here. Somebody's probably going to glitch out my base. Don't glitch out my base, please. Hello. Hi, buddy. Can we sing? Yes, very nice. Okay, so this right here is my base. I've been building on it for a while. I accidentally used some TNT on it the other day, so it's a mess. Do you see these doors right here? I'm kind of pointing straight at them. They make their way up, all the way up into the sky. Can you see it?
I'm actually just seeing your browser.
Oh. How about now? There we go.
You got a little delay here. Still see your browser. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's awesome.
So those are the doors that I was talking about, and it's actually going to be a big delay because I've got a little bit of a stream lag going on. Let's do move B. And I'll just talk about it, but you're going to see it here in just a second. I just lowered all those doors with a single thing. Thank you so much for the cheers. Near... is it fail? Some kind of fail. Thank you so much for the 10 bits. Appreciate it. Anyhow, as that comes down, it will make a bridge out to the Palm Island. Oh, come on. There we go.
Cool.
In Palm Island, we didn't used to have... We never had a way to get to the Palms without... Well, actually, we still don't have a way to get to the Palms. Because the only way to get there would be to swim, and if you fall into the water, you die. So, somebody showed me how you can attach doors to each other, and I took it and ran with it and created the Palm Bridge. Near Epic Fail 2. Thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate it. So right now I've actually I've bugged out my chat, so it still thinks that I'm walking. And I've also used the left and right. Thank you so much for the that's 30 cheers now. Thank you. I've used the greater than less than symbol to turn it to an exact angle, which is also the angle that we are building at, or they build. It makes me go on a straight path. So there we are. We have arrived at Palm Island, and I'll just show you. If I fall into the water, I start to lose life here. Little red flashes on the screen, life starts going down, so we do not want to stay in there. Jump out and grab some palms. Whoa. Hi, buddy. Hi. So, the palm wood is not the rarest wood in the game. Right now we have the rarest wood is spookwood and sinister wood, which only grows during the month of October. Oh, sorry. There we go. But palm is the most expensive without being... Oh, no. The icewood is now more expensive. Anyhow. And this is the point of the game. You chop down trees, take them back and you process them, and then you go and sell them off to buy to get money, to buy better axes, to buy blueprints, and to build up your base. So when you first start out, you get 20 money, because it's not dollars, and that's it. So you have to start from a very basic axe, the basic hatchet, by chopping down trees, oak trees, and then you work your way up to better axes, better stuff, and then finally you can buy some property, and after you buy property, you can save your base.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
it's like running like a mini lumber business. I guess it says you're a tycoon, right?
it is, and it really is capitalism at its finest, because you can actually purchase money with real Robux. So like if you just want to purchase more money, or if you're short some cash, it generates real money because you have to buy Robux with cash. So you go and buy a card, and it gives you so many Robux.
What sort of drew you to this kind of game when you started playing?
This right here. The first thing that I noticed was the relaxing calmness of the music in the background and the sort of mind-numbing repetitiveness of just going and chopping down a tree. Like that that alone was the challenge. Here, I've got plenty of palm wood. I don't need this.
So this is like very, very zen for you.
Yeah, this is my zen.
That's
because,
cool.
The majority of my videos is just me sitting here talking, doing this. I'm literally exploring around, chopping trees, and doing tutorials on like, hey, this is the best way to get wood. This is the best way to chop things down. And as you can see from everybody in the chat and everybody that's in the game itself, they're like, hey, code, sign my base, do this, do that, do the other. When the wires first came out and were introduced, I was the first one to come up with the idea, hey, I can actually make graffiti out of this. So here, this guy's asking me to sign his base. So let's do this. Oh wait, I can't use that one. This truck right here, you're probably not going to see it for a couple of minutes, but this is another experiment that I put together. And the reason it's an experiment is because this truck is glitched into this truck right here in the back, which is glitched into this door, which is glitched into this door, which is glitched into the hatch, which is attached to this wire right here, which runs off of a delay system that when you press this button over here, causes you to go under your base.
Whoa.
So, there we go. I'm in the water now. Oh, gosh. Oh, come back up. Please don't. Ugh. There we go. Anyhow. You'll see it. There's a little bit of a delay. Oh, chat. 96 people are back. Thank you guys for coming back. Oh my gosh. Did you leave the live stream and you're like, oh gosh, what are we doing now? And then you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to watch code. In all actuality, would it be possible to build a 3D Koji game to this extent? Is there a limit to the kilobytes I could upload?
Nope. Yeah, give us a couple of months, and you'll be able to build games crazier than this.
And it's all JavaScript, and would there be the ability to do jQuery in the background? Or implement
jQuery?
Yeah, jQuery.
Sure, of course. Yeah, it's a web app. So anything you can do in the browser, you can do here. You can do WebGL. You can certainly use jQuery if you want. You can use any framework you want. As you know, machines obviously get more powerful, and as JavaScript continues to really be, JavaScript is the language of the web. It's you know, kind of the most important language I believe to learn for a programmer these days. I mean, all languages have their own sort of like awesome things about them, but JavaScript is the one that you kind of really need to know to be able to build anything meaningful, I think. And so, yeah, you should be able to build games like this and much more sophisticated than this. And the cool thing is, again, you don't need to install anything. They run everywhere. They can be embedded everywhere. You can just send somebody a link, and there they are getting into it. Most of them don't require any authentication, although they can if you want them to.
The what I really like is that it's completely web-based. It is browser-based.
Yeah.
Have you found any issues going from like Internet Explorer to Chrome to Firefox, like browser-based itself, or is it the normal problems of Internet Explorer doesn't have compatibilities, or you have to run it in a compatibility mode or something like that? Sorry.
Does anybody still use Internet Explorer?
Don't make fun of me. Yes.
Look, browser compatibility is an issue, but browsers are starting to align and standardize, obviously, and get better and better. So yeah, periodically there are browser issues. We've seen like a number of issues with the iOS, Safari, and so developers of the templates have to do a little bit of extra work to make sure that these things are fixed. But the whole point is that like professional developers make these templates so that the rest of us can go and just have fun customizing them. while the code's available, you really don't have to touch it.
Yes.
I really believe that most people sort of don't want to well, not true. Maybe they want to write code, but they sort of don't have the time and energy perhaps to get good at it. But they have that creative spirit, and that's sort of the fine line that we're trying to draw, which is like, let's allow the people who love to write code to do that, specifically with the intention that it enables, the other 99% of people to just go out and have fun and build worlds and build completely like wacky games that nobody, would have ever sort of thought about building. Like this one, this is awesome.
Yes.
Right. But if you like went and tried to pitch this game to like some venture capitalist and say, I'm going to build this game, please finance it and help me build it, they just sort of look at you and say, man, you're crazy.
Why would you do this?
Get out of my office. Right. Or again, that's the same thing they said with video. Like, why would anybody want to watch amateurs broadcasting video? Like to make something interesting. These VCs told me, like, there's a reason that it costs like $100 million to produce a motion picture or a TV show. You can't just like point the camera at something and make it interesting. And obviously, boy, were they wrong. I mean, now I periodically see some of them, socially here and there, and they sort of pull me off and introduce me to somebody and say, hey, I told Dimitri in 2005 that nobody was going to want to watch amateur video on the internet, and boy, do I feel silly now, like.
Well, this is hilarious because just the other day, yesterday, in fact, and I recorded it, released it for today's thing. Thank you. Yes, I see that it's 10:30. We started a little bit late, so I'm going to keep going. Yesterday, I was just talking about Markiplier and eating McDonald's. Please stop. There we go. Markiplier is a really big YouTuber. He's been around for a long time, and he went and made a video. Got over 1 million views within like the first 2 hours, right? He ate McDonald's. He was in Korea, got a bag of food, and sat down in front of the camera and ate it. That was it. That was the whole video. And that was amazing. But it was because of his edits and because of his delivery and because of everything else that made the video. Yes. In Korea, McDonald's in Korea versus McDonald's in the US, and the differences, and his taste buds versus our taste buds and everything else. It was just good. And that right there is just, I was ranting and raving yesterday about this exact same thing about entertainment.
Yeah, look, this is the thing. There's this concept called the long tail, and I don't know if your audience will know this term, but it's really interesting, and it sort of talks about like that there's sort of infinite number of different types of videos, let's say, you could create, and while any individual won't like 99.999% of them, but somebody will like all of them. Like at least one person will like each one of them. And this long tail, because you're now creating so many different makers that are participating creatively in the process. This is what the internet's obviously based on. That's why there's like, if you Google anything, there's content about it. The reason for that is because so many people can produce it. I often describe YouTube as kind of like being the video web. It's another web, but in video form. That's why YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? Mm-hmm. There are many times, I'm sure all of us, before we search Google, we go and we search YouTube, because that's going to be a better way of sort of understanding how to fix something or do videos, something or creatively. Yeah. Unlike products, before I go buy a product, I certainly, check YouTube to see, people's reviews of the product. Like, all of this stuff is amazing. And again, I really believe that like this new medium of this like democratization, as we call it, of code, of apps, of games, because Koji isn't just about games. You see, like Roblox is awesome, but Roblox is a gaming platform, right? I mean, you could call it a social platform too, of course. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. And like, I love it. I don't play it, but again, I know it well and I understand how people interact with it. But Koji tries to think sort of beyond that, where it's not just games, Like there are many kind of utilities, for example, people are already starting to create. Like there are to-do lists and shopping lists and Instagram clones and all kinds of weird sort of interactive memes and electronic musical instruments that are in there. Just completely weird
I saw
things.
Some of those.
Yeah.
Here's what I like. Roblox isn't a game. You don't tell, like, a lot of people say, hey, do you play Roblox? And that is an incorrect statement. And I've tried to, like, correct this whenever people are talking about it, like kids and stuff like that. But that's the only way that you can relate to it, is like, hey, do you play Roblox? This would kind of be like saying, hey, do you play Koji? Well,
Right.
Koji itself is not a game. There's a bunch of games on Koji, right? This is
Exactly.
This is what I've been trying to tell everybody. And this is also why I love Koji so much, is because it is an environment. It is a sandbox environment. Because you could essentially hit that remix button, delete all of the code, and start from scratch and create something amazing if you wanted to.
Totally.
Oh gosh, we are way... Okay, no, we're not that far out of time. Let me finish out my signature right here. This is the thing I was talking about with the wires. When Defaultio had added it, I figured out a way to write CodePrime8 in like this graffiti kind of thing. And I started just signing people's bases and taking pictures. Ended up becoming a thing, and now YouTubers who play Lumber go and sign bases with wire. So, anyhow. Okay. Okay, chat, is there any last questions that you'd like for Dimitri, Luis, or myself to answer before we go? It's probably going to be a little bit of a delay for them to actually answer. Also, I would like to thank you for coming on here, and thank you for allowing me, like, allowing your team to work with me and allowing me to do a bunch of giveaways in your guys' name. I love pushing kids to go and program and develop and make games. Thank you.
Listen, we thank you. We think you're awesome. So yeah, thank you. Excited that you're that you like Koji, right? Like we kind of sit in our office and we write a bunch of code and we try to make things that we love, and we hope other people love it. And just so to see people love it, that's really, really awesome. And then to see that there's, a bunch of kids that are now being inspired to go and do stuff, that's amazing.
Asher, you may not have been here for the very first, but what inspired them to make Koji? He had actually done a bunch of different entrepreneur stuff in the past. He had been part of Google for 4 years. He also did MySpace whenever MySpace was a thing. His first programming language was back in 1984 when he programmed BASIC, Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instructional Code. He also started before YouTube saying that we should make a video app development kind of program, which everybody told him nobody's ever going to get interested in that. So the man's a genius because he came up with the Koji, and the Koji is a way for you to make games without knowing. Thank you, LT2 for the $2 donation through the super chat. She says, "Thank you, Koji, for your time." Big smiley face. And she's actually in our Discord, by the way. So I can see where his inspiration for making games came from first. Because I can see whenever I'm trying to create a game inside Lumber, inside Unity, inside, what's the other one? Not Real Player.
Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's nice to go and do tutorials and stuff like that, but it's a lot of dedication. Somebody like me who has a full-time job, family, does YouTube on the side, I don't have time to sit down and go make a full-fledged game. I'm not part of a huge team, but I have ideas for games that I would want to go and make. Koji also makes that possible through their simplicity. So you can get as deep or as codey as you want, or you can just go and remix a game and make your idea come to life and make it real. So...
And you can actually, you guys can play around with it on mobile and this is something that's actually we haven't really announced it. It's kind of hidden, but if you load it on mobile, you can like take a photo of yourself with your camera and stick your head into any of these games, right? And in a matter of a couple of minutes, redeploy a new game with you and your friends in it. And like, I've never seen a platform that does anything like that. So like, this is my new sort of party trick that I've been doing for the last week or so. People show up and I'm like, let's make a game about you. Smile for the camera. And then we've got this like AI-driven Google TensorFlow background remover that like removes the background and just sort of leaves your head and body, and
It's like,
yeah, it's pretty powerful.
TikTok filters.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's
interactive and it can be part of the game.
Well, all right, hold on. I will actually play with that later. And can we actually program? Can we change the code to the games inside the mobile app?
I'm sorry, say again?
Can we actually program the code to the games inside the mobile app? So if
No, on mobile, you don't have access to the code, but you've got access to these, we call them VCCs, these visual customization controls. You can change all the colors and text and images and everything else other than the code. Because, you know, it'd be hard to sort of change code on mobile. We might allow it someday, but not today.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here. We have karaoke after this. I don't know if you guys want to come sing or not, but it's going to be inside the Discord. For everybody that's inside the chat, don't forget we have karaoke tonight, and it's going to be discord.gg/CodePrime8. If you'd want to go to Koji and check it out yourself, it is with Koji, withkoji.com. Just to get in, make yourself an account. And actually, Luis, you and I have something else to do. We have a thing. I haven't gone forward with it yet because I didn't want to build it like and just mess it all up. So I'm gonna have some help from you. But we're going to definitely do another giveaway for all the fans. So if you were here, 92 people, and you're hearing this for the first time, this is the first time I'm going to announce it. We still have one more big giveaway from Koji for you guys. And
this is just a teaser.
Yeah, it's, just so you know, it's going to range around $500 in gifts and things for you guys. Just saying. It's a lot. That's money for you guys. Love you. Love you all. Love you guys very much. Have a great night. We'll talk to you very soon. If you guys want to hang out for just a second, I'll kind of explain after we're done here. But I have got to do an outro. So all the sounds are going to go off. I'm going to leave the chat for a second. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, okay?
Cool.
Okay.
And like with all chats, we say outro.
Girls with their nails done now. girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.